I gave a talk in Las Vegas at the ISSA North America show in November. The focus was on training and risk mitigation, and it's had me thinking about it a lot since then. So basically, what I think about here is not so much training. It's a word used a lot in this industry, but we kind of take it a step further. And here at Impact, we kind of classify it under the heading of compliance. And what compliance really means is just, again, making sure people are doing what they need to do to operate within the bounds of the law and in the bounds of safety, and making sure that we're running a risk-free company or mitigating risk as much as possible. So I'm gonna try and summarize that talk in 3 points and tell you kind of 3 key ways we try to mitigate and reduce risk here at Impact. So first and foremost, I think what's paramount is contracts. It is very easy in this business to win a contract. You know, the client says off on your quote or your proposal, and you think that you're good, get started, you're excited, but you forget to send that follow-up contract, get all the terms and conditions ironed out, and have that document on hand so that you protect yourself and everything's clear and everyone's on the same page. At the end of the day, in this business, more often than not, a contract is you can terminate it within 30 days, either the client or you. So really, it's like a subscription at the end of the day, but it's still very important to have that contract signed and executed in hand as you're delivering services to mitigate that risk. But going a step further with contracts is you want to make sure your employees have a contract signed on day one. That's not just your head office, but all the way down to your cleaners and your frontline staff. You should have a system in place that can get those contracts to them. They can sign off before they get on the job site, so they know their responsibilities, they know the liabilities, and everyone is protected and safe when working. And the last one is your vendors, your contractors, making sure that you have a very detailed, robust vendor agreement, independent contractor agreement that is ideally vetted by your lawyers and lays out all the terms and conditions, has non-disclosure agreements, non-competes, and you talk them through it so they understand the purpose of it, and also they're aware of their responsibilities working with your organization. So first and foremost, reducing risk, make sure you have contracts across all levels of your organization, make sure they're stored securely, centrally, so anyone can find them, and just make sure you're keeping them up to date, tracking the expiries, and getting ahead of them for renewals. So that's number one. Number two, this one's pretty straightforward. It's really onboarding and training. Onboarding plus training. So onboarding is self-explanatory. For all those categories, your employees, your executives, your cleaners, your contractors, your clients, make sure you have a good onboarding program. What happens the first 30 days? What happens before day one? Lay everything out so they understand. It can be on one page, so they know you have to check all these boxes before we start working together. That way they're going in eyes wide open. Again, client, cleaner, or contractor, you guys are aligned. And then make sure that your onboarding is robust. And from day one, you're not going to have a super detailed onboarding program, but over time you can adapt it. Have a welcome video. Have this is our company policy. This is our code of conduct. This is our health and safety program. These don't happen overnight. It takes time, but you can find a lot of resources online. You can ask your friends who own businesses if they can, give you some references and some templates to use. But that is key. Make sure that everyone is onboarded successfully. You'll start on the right foot. You'll mitigate some risk, and everyone is going in eyes wide open. The training is just ongoing. Make sure that you're training people yearly. Making sure you have refresher talks, toolbox talks. We call them Cleaners College. Every year, you should have a training, at the very least refresher. Obviously, follow your municipal, federal, provincial guidelines for health and safety, employment standards acts, but always have ongoing training so that people stay compliant. If you're a janitorial business owner, this channel is for you. Hit subscribe, like, follow. I'd really appreciate it. Take care. Let's go. Number 3 is bottlenecks. Bottlenecks are terrible. They're probably one of the riskiest things in the business. Bottlenecks can apply, in my opinion, in 2 ways. Number 1, from processes. Number 2, from people. Let's make a third, platforms. But really, a platform supports a process. But bottlenecks are high risk. If you have a process that creates a bottleneck and stops the flow of information, stops the flow of data, you could be creating risk in your company. It could be slowing down your invoice from getting out on time. It could be stopping your onboarding from getting into their hands in a timely manner so they can get it done. Make sure you're always looking for places where the flow of information starts to drag and slow down. Find a way to remove that. You will always have it. No company's perfect. We've done this for 70 years, and we're still identifying ways to get better. And as your company grows, you'll start to find new bottlenecks. So just always be on the hunt. Start asking your people, what is slowing you down? Where does information get lost? Have those conversations. You'll be able to identify them pretty quickly and put something in place. And then the last one is people. This one is never fun to think about, but at the end of the day, you're going to start to evolve and grow your business. And a person who was good at $1 million in revenue managing your business might not be as good at 10, 50, and 100. So people are going to outgrow their role, or they're not going to be able to step into the next role. Some people's skill sets may not evolve with the business. They may also just be stubborn and not want to adapt to the ever-changing business. So identifying which people are bottlenecks is critical. First and foremost, you want to try and work with them, coach them, and help them improve. Second from there, you want to give them tools, resources, and platforms that help them ideally get better and more efficient. But if you're running into those two and you can't solve it, I mean, you're in a bit of a bind there. So those are 3 things and 3 ways and 3 items that are mission critical to reducing risk for you as a janitorial owner in your janitorial business. As a bonus to mitigate risk, wet floor signs. You absolutely must have wet floor signs. You can never have too many. They should be in every building, regardless if it's a public space or there's a lot of foot traffic, just to be safe. But especially when there's foot traffic, if it's a retail space, you have people moving around the office while your people are mopping and working, you absolutely must have these. Better safe than sorry, put up more. This is a cool one. It's a little mini banana. You don't see these very often. Very nice. Get wet floor signs. That's it.